City of Jasper, this 4th day of June 2025. Chairman Duchess, would you please take roll?
Right, roll call. Fields, Moses, Gary Miller, present. Bell, present. Blake Cooper,
Present.
Andy Smith, present. Dennis Tedder. Renee Baker, here. Josh Christie, here.
Looks like we got the majority. Okay, great. Now I ask that you, all those are able, please stand for voluntary pledge of allegiance. Received the minutes via email. I'm looking to see if there are any changes or corrections. Anybody noted? So, seeing none, hearing none, I've asked for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Andy,
I'll second that.
second by Jerry. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. We're now in the public hearing scheduled for this evening. With respect to tonight's meeting and public hearings, we are hereby incorporating by reference into the record of tonight's meeting and public hearings, City of Jasper Ordinance number 2016-30, entitled Unified Development Ordinance of the City of Jasper, Indiana, and its jurisdictional area, and any and all amendments thereto, in the City of Jasper Comprehensive Plan. Pursuant to Article 5, Sections 2, 3, and 4 of the BZA Rule of Procedures, presentations by petitioner should be limited to 15 minutes. The call for remonstrators shall be limited to 20 minutes, with individuals limited to no more than 5 minutes at the chairman's discretion. Such time limits may be increased by a majority vote of the board members present. All right, tonight we have 2 items on the docket. So with that being said, we will start with the first item listed. Sean Engel, as owner of Viewpoint Construction LLC, as petitioner, located at 4260 North Beth Lane, is requesting 2 variances. First variance is variance from 16.710B, aka Chapter 7 Development Standards, Accessory Uses and Structures, location of the City of Jasper's Unified Development Ordinance to allow accessory structure to be located forward of the front line of the principal building. And the second variance requested is a variance from 16.4.5.c, aka Chapter 4 Districts, Low Density Residential R1 District Standards of the City of Jasper's Unified Development Ordinance to allow accessory structure not to meet the required minimum front setback on a local road. So with that being said, there'd be someone who would like to come and speak on that and present that to us, please. Please come forward and state your name and address, please, on record at the podium.
Can you hear me? My name is Jill Workman. I am with Viewpoint Construction, and I am here to discuss the variance for 4260 North Beth Lane in Jasper.
My name is Sean Engel. I'm owner of 4260 North Beth Lane.
So we are asking for the variance for the property to put the garage in front of the front line of the accessory structure. Because they don't want it, if we put it back behind the primary structure, then it would be directly behind his house, like in his backyard. So we're asking to put it forward. And then for the setback, we're not quite at the 30 feet for the setback line. And there is a couple reasons for that. One, again, because it would be placed towards the back of the house. And there is an electrical line that is running from their primary house. If we have to move it back, we're going to have to move the electrical line anyway. But if we can leave it where it's at and not meet that 30-foot setback line, they can route it to the back side of the garage And so it would be uncovered then, but if we have to go back to the setback line, then the line will end up being covered. So,
We're talking about in this area, right?
I think it's right there. Yeah, right in that area, yeah.
We're talking. What's the minimum? I mean, I see the houses are all probably on the minimum setback.
My house is, I measured it, it's 53 foot back.
It's back. 53, so about 50 is probably the setback. Probably close to 50.
Local roads 30. What's your proposal? Originally I just did 25 foot, we could go, about 30 off the road without putting nothing. We would still have to move the line, because that line goes, it's 8 foot in front of the house, so off the left side of the house, 8 foot, and then it runs straight back to the back of the property. So if we move the garage back, it'll get covered up, whereas if we leave it forward some, it could be right behind it and not be covered.
Drawing is not quite the scale.
It's not all the way, the feet are only, like the feet from the property lines and then like where the garage is to the house and stuff was all that. I didn't scale it. The 24 foot is from like,
From the road,
yes,
right away line would be 14 foot from the right away. Because it's a 2-lane road, so it's only 10 foot from the center. With all the way back for the one variant where it's in line with the house, then it as well.
it would be like directly behind it.
They cover up 3 of our back windows.
I guess my next question, though, we have to keep it that close to the house, I mean, I know keep talking about these windows. Then you know,
I think they were trying to keep it close to the garage that they already have. Like that's connected to the house instead of having to move it back. Cause it's another garage that will be used for like his work and stuff like that. And I think they wanted it more closer to the house instead of pushed back in the property line.
the existing garage, the house, that's diametrically, that's on the south side of the house, the opposite side.
Yes.
It'd be separate from the front,
I thought it was the same side of the garage. Like you have your garage and then our garage, the garage you're wanting to build on the next
They
side.
use the same side. He's saying it's on the south side of it.
Oh,
Acre and a quarter. It's above ground. See where the white spot at. So just northeast of that, and because that's a rock pile. That's our main power line. Brick box. The active electrical line comes out the left side of the house. You can kind of see where the AC is. That's where it right there. So it comes 8 foot out and then it runs straight north to the property line and then and then it goes east to the power to the pole. They'd be under the drive. Um, years. Second summer, it's been up.
Line of sight, if you're backing out of that garage, and you traffic, which one guy we pick up on that week. Make sure you got good sight distance. 24, that's at least a minute. I would think 30 would be a minute, so you can pull out and good sound.
Yes. No, he's got no problem with it.
Public, would you like to speak on this first? Or we- you know? Thank you. Motion to close the public portion of the comment portion. I'll make that motion. Motion by Jared.
Second.
You pass. Okay, so that. I still have issues. I like it. I mean, something I punch up my call, but I don't like the fact that we will GIS, everything is in line. And that's kind of the whole purpose of the zone. The zone is everything matches up and within that building. And maybe again, it's because of the drawing. I'm not a big fan of that sticking out. Again, you got, backing up issues, definitely, and that's gonna help with the schools and everything else out there. It's going to continue to be a busy area. More and more traffic is gonna filter through there.
Yeah. Technically, even if you meet the setback, it'd be in front of the house.
I envision it, me, as an outside looking in, I envision it here. I know it blocks your windows back, but I also see it far enough away. It's not a big issue, but. Now, what do you think on that? As far as setbacks and all?
That's the reason they're here,
Yep.
is because they don't meet those
Yeah.
requirements.
Personally, I don't have an issue with being forward from the house, but I'm very concerned about having enough vision to pull out.
The pavement, not the center of the road. If you go by center of the road, it's an extra 10 foot.
Yeah, I think you said from the edge of pavement, 24 feet.
Right.
Right.
And
And
then you go about maybe 30 to 35 before we start covering up the windows and everything, which would give you 40 to 45 off of the center of the road.
but keep it like where, by the house where we wanted it, not back.
So as you can see, the lots you guys are on, that lot's been there for a while. It's not a platted lot per se, but everything's been neighborhoods to south. You can see on
adjacent lots are. That's a third, it's flat. Actually, 30 foot from center line, it'd be 15, so I mean, I would ask at least from a conversation or discussion, we consider the right of way. Change it to 20 foot road, but really be 5 more feet on each side, that would be the right of way. Before we start factoring in what the distance is. Still give them what they're asking for, I don't care, but for the conversation, again, noting that hardwood is being built out. Sure, that 30 feet. um, Whether that makes sense closer to the right of way, that's for you to decide on. But for the conversation, just north of that, that's the 30 foot line.
So what are you saying, keep? What's allowed for, it's not a formal right of way, allow for a consistent area on this lot as to what is the right of way on the plat.
Yes. If they're saying they're 24 feet or whatever off the right of way as it exists, that's not truly the right of way.
True, not true.
Just north of it, it's 30 foot total. So 15 from center line. That line, 60 or 30 foot line, that we do that, that's what it says on here. Okay, it's got 140.
The road, that if we're going 5 foot off the road to the right of way, then it would be technically 25 off. Yes.
So I'm just trying to visualize this in my mind. The building would be then be 23 feet in front of the house, right? Am I right? In the thought process? Yeah. So, right? Makes sense? I'm trying to figure this out. I'm checking this out, and that number's going up, but you know, I think it's 23, it's gonna sit in front of the. Right, it's gonna sit, in other words, it's gonna sit from the edge of the house, basically. There's gonna be 23 foot of building in front, right? So what you. Okay.
Yeah.
People, you jazz, you know, just move it. Sure.
electric line is roughly 45 foot off of the road, because it's about 8 foot from the side of the house, and the house is 53 off the road. It's electrical line would be about 45 off.
So either way, you have to move it in a scenario where not safe. Or you be
He said he would move it back around, they would reroute it back behind the garage if we didn't meet the setback requirement. Right?
Because then, essentially we just go around the garage, and then it would be uncovered. Otherwise, you either have to go under the garage or under, or move it forward. I think he said that typically, Oxley, no, I think typically he said he calls the city to come and move it, or whomever.
But you're gonna move one, that's what I'm saying.
It's just a matter of what you want to do with it.
Then it'd be either the driveway part or the actual garage, I guess would be the.
So it, just to summarize, so it looked like there were like three issues that were kind of dictating, this, and if I got it wrong, correct me. One was the approximate distance of the pool. One was the electrical line, and the other was kind of a line of sight issue from the windows from the house looking out, correct? But we've established that the pool, at least in 2 years previous, was in a different location. It isn't. And the electrical line, in one way or another, is gonna get moved, whether it's 5 feet or whatever. I would assume that they're able to move it behind them and not.
The pool was only the concern if we had to move it back behind the front setback line of the house. That's the, if we can keep it in front of that front line of the house, then that's fine, it doesn't have to be moved. I think it's mainly just the line and then the site of view or whatever, so. The electrical line.
If it's say 30 feet from the right of way, front, it'd be okay. Right.
Yes, yeah. Which I think he said that we could do, it was just moving the electrical line.
The structure relocated forward to the front line of the principal. So I would think. So I would make a motion to approve the variance from chapter 7 development standards, accessory uses and structures. The Jasper, unified development ordinance to allow an accessory structure to forward front line of the principal.
Motion by Jerry to approve the variance as presented. I will seek a second. Second by Julie. All those in favor? Any opposed? Variance number 1 is passed.
And I'd also like to make a motion that we approve the variance from 16.4.5 chapter 4 districts low density residential R1 district standards of the city of Jasper unified development ordinance to allow an accessory structure not to meet the required minimum front setback on the road, but it must be at least 30 feet in back of the driveway. So, I would give it a
Motion by Jerry to allow the variance to allow accessory structure to not meet the required minimum front setback on a local road that must be at least 35 feet from the east edge of the pavement. 35 feet from the east edge of the pavement. The motion by Jerry, seeking a second. Second by Julie, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Based on the information presented to this board of zoning appeals, we have determined that all the following three criteria to be true. The development standard variance requested will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. That the use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner. And the strict application of the terms of the Jasper zoning and subdivision ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property for which the variance is sought. Therefore, the Board of Zoning Appeals grants your variance request as we presented. All right, next one. Canterbury Ford LLC is owner petitioner located at lots 2, 5, 6, 8, 11, and 13 in Canterbury Greens third. Two variants requested, variance from chapter 4, section 7.c, R3 district standards. Related to side yard setbacks of the city unified development ordinance. The second variance requested is from chapter 7, section 18.a, design standards related to anti-monotony of the city's unified development ordinance. With that being said, looks like we have a speaker, so please state your name for the record.
Good evening, Board. Brad Curley, Brooklyn Lane Surveying and Engineering, here on behalf of Canterbury Ford LLC. I've been in contact with Brandon, employee of Union Development. He's in Texas, so can't join me today. But here specific to the subdivision of Canterbury Green 3. Basically, the first portion on the side setback, this was approved. Canterbury Green 1 was platted in 1998. Canterbury Green 2, which is inclusive of this Canterbury 3, was platted in 2001. And then in 2018, this area, this infill within Piccadilly and Downey was remaining, and they actually platted a portion of the Canterbury Green 2 lots and reduced the lots that basically ultimately allowed for duplex 2-family structures, whereas they may have had a mix back in 2004. So in May of 2018, Canterbury Green 3 plat was approved. In June of 2018, a side setback variance specific to lots 2, 5, 6, 8, 11, and 13 was obtained, but no building permits were pulled, have been pulled within any. So when we go to seek building permits, there is an ordinance that nullifies a variance or a special exception after 3 years if no building permit. Learn something every day. So when so I met with Josh in March, and it's really more specific in how to grasp that anti-monotony portion of it. And I honestly didn't even realize that, and we were thinking, well, I was trying to get answers, basically go back to December, January, and there was one front elevation for these 17 lots. And I came back explaining like, hey, we need some other elevation. So we're kind of shooting through that. Ultimately, their plan and intent was their first and initial was 4 building permits of these 17 lots, which technically then that doesn't, anti-monotony doesn't pertain when that's it would come after. So when we left it, the intent was, hey, we'll get these 4 and we'll get a graph so where then we can present knowing exactly. Then we realized, or Josh educated me, that there is an ordinance related to basically an expiration on a variance. So specific to the side setback, you don't want to go on the next screen. Probably summarize quickly on this, but this just helps me when we put it together to remind myself. So really cited the variance on the side setbacks. Honestly, the only difference on the side setback is for, I don't know exactly, but requesting a 2.75 foot variance is what the verbiage included in 2018, and I ran it to 3 feet in regard. These setbacks are specific. Each and every one of them are all due to public utility drainage. They're along the lots to where ensuring that we protect the PUDE and the vertical line above that. That's the reason for the source of it. So specific to the anti-monotony.
Just to clarify, requesting a 3 foot variance means a reduction of 3 feet against 7.5 feet side, or 4.5.
Yes, they're right. Yeah, because your what was presented was 4.6. Gotcha.
No, I just want to make sure they're on.
Yeah.
What we're asking.
Yeah. I need to look, I don't know that that situation actually occurred. Yes, we do have one area where it does. It's not every, just due to the setback meeting 7.5 on the one. Well, I'm sorry, that would be the, so yes, that'd be correct. I think that's why, Josh, I like just saying variance less than 7.5 feet.
But then say a 3 foot variance, that's why I want to make sure they understand you're not saying it's 3 foot.
Yeah, well, and specific to that dimension, if we go back to 2018, and I think I was incorrect, when the UDO was initially adopted in December 16, the measurement was to our foundation. And then there was a revision that did it, but I think that was actually prior to 18. I was thinking that maybe that pertained here, and then I started checking these numbers, making sure, but I think that revision came in like December of 17. So at the time of this, it was effective that now we are measuring to the furthest appurtenance on the structure, and still today we are. But our initial UDO had. So I think I spoke to Josh at one time saying, well, that probably was to our foundation at the time, and so we did coordinate to ensure that even for their overhangs, I'd have to look if it was 18, 15, whatever they're, but I just ensured that, you know, hey, look, if there has to be a reduction, a couple inches, just to clarify, I was making sure. So, but even with what they have, so specific to the anti-monotony, and I'll get you an aerial, but basically there's 17 lots within Canterbury Green 3 that are currently vacant, and 8 of those are on Downey and 9 on Piccadilly. So UDO 718A states no house shall be, and house defined meaning single family, 2 family, following that same residential design section of UDO. No house should be the same front elevation design as any other house within 6 lots on the same block face nor directly across the street. And then 718A also states no single front elevation house design may constitute more than 25% of the front elevation house designs with any single phase of a subdivision or PUD. So basically the request for the anti-monotony is basically a variance from those 2 items to allow 3 different front elevation designs. It doesn't account for colors, materials, just the design to be utilized on the 17 lots within Canterbury 3. So I might hit the next one. Just real quick, the zoning. This is part of the time frame I gave you on Canterbury Green. That is the old way that we did planned unit development. So it's all a PUD, but then the restrictive covenants within Canterbury Green 3 specifies to conform to R3 standards. So next one. Here's this is just an aerial infill to give you an idea. So basically north, south, west, and east of this, call it a circle, oval, is, part of Canterbury Green too. So on the west side there, those are all the same, elevation, views with different material and colors varying, along the west. Streets confused. So Downey is on the west. And then east on Piccadilly, those are the same color, and same elevation, and that's the same on the south as well. So, you can see really those cyan lines, those are storm, lines. So where you see those are really the relative lots specific, to the site setback that I was referencing. And the reason that you have that these lots and the anti-monotony are basically because of the 25% and 1 every 6, basically fell to where if we allowed the 3 different, then that would allow us to compete. So then real quick, the next one, this is just highlighting specific lots, in the red there. Black just kind of showing those views. So all part, the initial, setup was part of the Canterbury Green 2 improvements, at the time they had constructed, Piccadilly and Downey on the dedication. So basically with the site setback variance, there's no structures, we're protecting, no structures that are impacting right away. We're protecting our public utility and drainage easements, allows for our public utilities, to serve, the area, as they do today, and the new 2-family dwellings. And the owners, Canterbury 4-3, Canterbury 4 LLC is the owner of this. I'd have to verify the exact around, but it is under the same, maybe different entities, but the same ownership in regard to the development of Canterbury Green. Doing so, and so ensuring we're protecting the easements, and then I'll just give you a quick elevation view, and I don't know if it's easiest being like pan so they can see it, but these were the 3 elevation of the 2-family structures that are proposed. There's nothing defined at this time and specific to color and materials. It was just ensuring the front elevation, allowing a variation of. And then I do have kind of quick the surroundings just from a street view. Looks real good when you can zoom in, right? But, you can see the west, basically just a run here. So the west, northeast, and south. And as I referenced, when you see that west, those are the varying materials and colors with the same building elevation. North is similar, and then the east and south are basically same colors and material with the same elevation. Actually, maybe can't remember. South may have like 1 more bedroom or something, so the size may tweak a little bit. So basically, though, with the anti-monotony, really this is conforming to the original thing, going way back, prior to 16. And when the original Canterbury Green 2 was platted, didn't have the UDO specific to the residential design, specific on the anti-monotony. I don't have the history to tell you in 2018 what that meant. That UDO was present, but I'm not sure exactly. These are the same structures, so I don't have it, couldn't find the file. So, but yeah, ultimately, I think with that, I'm not trying to scatter between the variances, but I just learned how to say anti-monotony with 1 language arts class at previous version. So with that, entertain any questions.
Jerry to allow, variance as presented, variance one as presented. Second by Andy, all in favor? Aye. One more, either to allow or deny, variance request number two.
I'll make the motion again to approve the variance from chapter 7, section 18.8, design standards related to the anti-monotony of the city's unified development ordinance.
Motion by Jerry to allow the variance. Second by Andy, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Assuming it's as presented.
Based on the information presented to this board of zoning appeals, we have determined that all the following three criteria to be true. The development standard variance requested will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. That the use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner. And the strict application of the terms of the Jasper zoning and subdivision division ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of property for which the variance is sought. Thus, the Board of Zoning Appeals grants your variance request.
Thank you, board.
That being said, Josh and Renee, anything from that direction? I thought it might be, that's,
Yeah, I just graduated from Xavier University a couple weeks ago. I'm turning for Renee this summer. I'm planning on going to law school and I'm taking a year off. So after my internship, I have an internship in Germany in September. So I have to
glad to have you on board, and you got a great year on from that.
thank you. Thank you.
That being said. That's not looking for someone to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion by Julie to adjourn. Second by Andy, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Everyone have a great night.